YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with bold predictions for NFL Week 6. The bold predictions are sent in by you guys through our Twitter. A lot of you sending a lot of these bold predictions in. I appreciate everyone. I kind of skim through and look for ones that stand out, and we use them in this video every single week. But if you want to get more involved, always tweeting my thoughts as well for NFL, whether it's roster moves or within games. Week 6 starts tonight. We'll be tweeting during the Bucs-Eagles game. So for all that, you go check out our Twitter. Definitely worth it. Link down below for that. Anything else you need, please like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Full NFL coverage here. When I say full NFL coverage, I mean it. We're always adding more, a lot going on here. Let's get into these bold predictions. Justin Miller, a.k.a. Dan of the Goat House. Bears open playbook. Fields throws for 250 yards with 2 touchdowns. Bears win. Put me on the show. He's on the show. There's a lot going on here. This is a multiple-parter. Well, the Bears opened a playbook. He talked about this in our weekly picks last night. That video is up. He's thinking that they kind of saved a little bit, mainly with Justin Fields in the offense here. And I definitely can see that. They haven't really had to use a whole bunch these last couple weeks. And I don't know if they want to throw everything at Justin Fields and maybe kind of waiting for this big game against the Packers. All that combined, that makes sense. So I do believe that a bit. Maybe it wasn't on purpose, though. Maybe it was, because the Raiders game, just ended up, they were dominating it. They were running the ball. It turned out they didn't really need to unleash Fields a whole bunch. So maybe it wasn't even on purpose. But either way, I agree they could open up the playbook even further here. Fields throws for 250 with 2 touchdowns, and the Bears win. For both of those things, all of those things, 250, 2 touchdowns, Bears win. I think it's possible, but I think it's pretty hot at this, for all of that. But if we're looking at Fields throws for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, I think that's kind of a lot. We haven't really seen him a whole bunch throwing the ball, but I think that's possible. I'll say it's realistic. Maybe I was leaning towards warm. I think it's realistic. Bears win. I didn't pick the Bears to win, but it's definitely possible. We'll call that warm. So we got a bunch of different answers here. I think for all of that to happen, though, I think it's pretty hot. But we'll see. The Bears are playing pretty good football, pretty good on defense. Packers struggling in the red zone a little bit, but you can't really say struggling because they're putting points up on the board. So it actually should be a pretty good game here in Chicago. Can't wait to see what happens. Evan Zamora, Washington football team and Chiefs combined for 85-plus points. All right, so I predicted 35-30 Chiefs. So we'll say he's predicting 45-40. That'd be 85 points right there. I think anytime the Chiefs are on the field, and no matter who they play, almost pretty much everybody, not maybe every team, I think it's possible for this score, that total to happen. I do think it's pretty 45-40. I don't know. I think it's still pretty piping. Is Washington going to put up 40 points? I guess they don't have to put up 40. They can be in the 30s, and then the Chiefs got to score something ridiculous. They're pretty beat up at the same time. So I think that's pretty piping. But anytime the Chiefs are on the field and who they're playing, the team they're playing, I think it could be a pretty damn high-scoring game because the Chiefs are that good on offense and that bad on defense. Jalen Knapp, Javonte Williams makes it into the top 15 rookies list after a 100-yard game, 2 rushing touchdowns against the Raiders. Yeah, so we do rookie rankings, and it's always top 15 we do. I guess pretty random number. That's what we do. And Javonte Williams, I keep he's on the just missed the cut, and I keep saying he's probably going to enter at some point, kind of a prediction. So I could be in agreement here that he can make his way onto the top 15 after this week, though. 100 yards. Yeah, they could actually. I mean, this is pretty specific, though. 100 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. Maybe I'm getting a little bold here. I'm going to call it warm. I think because it's so specific, multiple things need to happen. It probably should be at least hot. I'm going to say warm. I'm kind of feeling it. I think the Broncos kind of look at what the Bears did on the Raiders. They pounded the football. They were physical. The Raiders were missing tackles. Bears were breaking tackles. Their running backs. Javonte Williams is a tackle-breaking machine. So they got to realize we got to feed this guy. Now is the time to unleash this guy. We traded up in the second for a reason. So I could see this. And, if he has that game, he'll definitely be in the top 15 rookies. So it's a good one just because about the matchup, too. It's time. It's time for the Broncos to do this, so we'll see if they do. Another guy just not only about to get into the rookie list, but kind of, easily, if he has another big game, is Kadarius Toney. I'm loving, if you guys follow us on Twitter, I've been hyping up Kadarius Toney a bunch. Reason he can't really be in the top 15 rookies, because only a select few of rookies. He's only had 2 games here. So another one of those, it's easily going to be in. 3 out of 3 games like that, easily. I'm a big fan of his game. I've seen enough to know that this guy's going to be legit. We just got to see more of a sample size to put him up there for the Rookie of the Year conversation, which, if you want to make predictions, I'm kind of right there, that he'll definitely be in that conversation. It's an assumption at this point. He's got to keep it going, but he's a beast. Kadarius Toney, this is from T-Money. Kadarius Toney leads the Giants in receiving yards and scores a touchdown. I'm just going to say it's happening. I'm going to go ahead. Some injuries in the Giants receiver unit. They should be. That's the only thing, though. They should be getting guys back. We'll take a look at Sterling Shepard, Slayton. They should be getting them back. Kenny Golladay out, though. I might change my mind, actually. I just thought of something. I'm gonna say it's real. We're gonna knock it down a notch. From its back up a little bit. All right. I gotta take it easy with Kadarius Toney a little bit. I had to do that to myself in the rookie power rank, because I wanted to put him in there. I'm like, 2 games where all these guys that have played 5 games and have been putting consistent out there. I had to calm down a little bit for that one. I'm gonna calm down a little bit for this one too. Something I just thought of. Kadarius Toney punched somebody in the face last week and got ejected. Joe Judge was pissed at him. I mean, coaches will be. They usually will be, but we know for sure Judge is just, I could see him punishing him a little bit, and be punishing himself, though, I think, because there's Toney, electrifying player here, could help you win a game like this, perhaps, against the Rams, and that'd be a big one, but I could see him punishing him a little bit, so maybe other guys get more snaps, and again, they are getting guys back. Maybe they get more snaps, more opportunities just because of that. If Kadarius Toney didn't punch somebody in the face and wasn't going to get disciplined for it, it's a prediction, me saying that, but then I'd probably predict him to it's happening is probably what I would say. So it's definitely a good one, interesting one, but that's a guy to look out for. I'm a big fan of Kadarius Toney from what I've seen so far. Just got to control himself a little bit. He actually, because he got hurt and he got really pissed and headbutted his own teammate by mistake, so got to calm down. I kind of like the emotion at that point, though. He wants to be out there so bad, but got to calm down a little bit there. Billy Botunis, I said that wrong. I'm almost going to guarantee that, so I apologize. But Hurts throws for 300-plus yards and totals 3 touchdowns. Plays tonight, plays the Buccaneers, a defense that teams have been able to move the ball on. And on top of that, they're pretty damn beat up. You look at the cornerback position. Now you look at the safety position. Antoine Winfield Jr., Levante David, a captain, one of the best inside linebackers in football. He's going to be out. So teams should be able to move the ball. Quarterbacks should be able to move the ball on this Buccaneers defense. They should be able to continue. The throws for 3 total touchdowns, I'd say, it's probably happening. It's very realistic, I'd say. 300 passing yards, though. That's 300 passing yards. He's going to have a big game for us to believe in Hurts here with that beat-up defense, the Buccaneers. But will he? Do I trust him? I don't. 300 passing yards is a lot for Jalen Hurts. I'm going to say hot. Can't say piping. I'm going to say hot, though. That's a good one, though. So we'll see what he can do tonight. It's at home. It's prime time. It's a beat-up Bucs defense. We'll see what he's got. He's going to have a big game. So I'm excited to see. After the first week, I was like, oh, my God, is Jalen Hurts a lot better than I thought? And then kind of got fooled by what I always say, don't trust week 1. I kind of got fooled myself. And he's kind of really, he's made big plays here and there, but been pretty disappointing since. So we'll see which guy comes out tonight, which Hurts that is. Moving on to the next one. Cameron DeWeese, Kyler Murray, and Baker Mayfield combined for 7 passing touchdowns in a shootout. Combined for 7 passing touchdowns. I think that's possible here. We got to think about it a little bit. I'm still thinking about it. First I thought it was possible, but I'm like, the Browns are going to run the shit out of the ball. So I don't know if Baker throws for a lot of touchdowns, but then Kyler could get a good chunk in. It's a good one. When I'm stumped, it's a good one. That's how we know. I mean, the borderline hot, warm. I'm actually going to say hot because I think the Browns are going to run the crap out of the ball. I'm very confident in that. I think, and now if they succeed, they can keep Kyler Murray and Cardinals on the sideline, limiting their chances. And that limits passing touchdowns. That limits passing touchdowns for actually both Baker and Kyler Murray with more clock running off. So I'm going to call it hot. So what these teams been doing, what these quarterbacks been doing, it's definitely possible though. At the same time, like it's definitely like sometimes we get those hot ones that are realistic. At the same time, it's kind of in that area. So that's a pretty damn good one there. Dog style. Cardinals lose their first game and the Jags win their first game. So two things got to happen. Cardinals lose for the first time. Jags win for the first time. I actually picked both these things. I picked the Browns to beat the Cardinals, but it's a toss-up. I picked the Jags. It's bold to beat the Dolphins. That's a toss-up as well. But since I picked them, it doesn't mean it's guaranteed or anything here, obviously. But I kind of think both are going to happen. But I'm not super confident. We're going to go warm because the Jags is pretty bold at the same time. I'm predicting this to happen, but so you think I would go it's happening, but I can't really just base it off only my predictions. I'm well aware the Jags is bold, and then both these have to happen. Cardinals can very well beat the Browns. I kind of changed my mind on that one back and forth throughout the week. They could, Kyler Murray can escape that pressure that's been key for the Browns, and that can make it not key, and not a factor, and he can throw downfield on them. It's very possible. So we'll call this warm for both these to happen. I'm predicting it to happen, though, because that's just what I'm feeling. Ethan Phillips, Jags gain 250 and 250 and win. Yeah, so if you missed it, Urban Meyer says when they step out in the field, his goal is to throw for 250. That's the game plan. Throw for 250 and run for 250. Which is pretty weird to say. It's only happened, I believe, 33 times, give or take, in NFL history, actually. Because usually if you're throwing. You're not able to run for that many yards. But if you're able to run for that many yards, you're not throwing for that many yards. So it's pretty tough to do. I do think they'll have some offensive success. I think they can run for 250 in this game against the Dolphins. It's just usually one or the other. And the other one can be close. But because it barely happens in the NFL in general, and we're talking about the 0-win Jags, even though I'm predicting them to win. Not super confident. I think they'll have success, especially on the ground. I'm still going to call that piping. But that's a good one, though, because Urban Meyer said that, and that he's always saying something interesting these days, or doing something interesting. Real Teal, Tua comes back and looks worse than Brissett, gets benched. Okay, there's a multi-parter here, actually. I can't really answer. Well, if I want to answer them together, Tua looks worse than Brissett and gets benched. Let's say piping right away because I don't know if they bench him, but I could see that. Okay, I'm going to say piping because for both those to happen. I could see him looking worse than Brissett has. I actually think that's. I'm not saying it's happening because I would put up it's happening. I'd put realistic. Does that mean I think he's worse than Brissett? No. Does that mean that if this happens, he's worse than Brissett? No. It's just coming back, going to London, coming back off the injury. He could struggle a little bit. It is the Jags defense, so he should look okay. Okay? But I think it's possible. It shouldn't be. It's one of those things that's possible, and then I also could see people saying after that, Tua sucks, Brissett's better, just because that one game, and that is a big, big time overreaction. That's wrong, actually. So I could actually see those things happening. But the getting benched part is what's tough. I don't see him getting benched if he's really, really bad. I don't know. I think the only way he gets benched if they just all of a sudden decide he's not 100%. Like this isn't, or he gets hurt even further. I think that would be the only way he gets benched. But it's interesting to think about because he is coming back from injury. He's going to London. That's kind of tough too, I think. I don't know. It's just me thinking about myself. I mean, I'm not the same as NFL players, but just got to go fly to London. I feel like I'd play like shit if I was an NFL caliber player. Unless I was just a dominant one. I would think me sitting on a plane for that long, going to London, doing things, a different time than I'm not used to. I think I'd be thrown off big time. This guy coming off injury. So I think but he's playing a defense that, you can beat this defense. He should be able to play solid or okay at least, but I think it's possible he can struggle. I don't think it's the end of the world if he does. So that's a pretty good one. And then last one here, TJ Vanderland. Watson is traded to Miami. Since this is week 6 bold predictions, so does this happen in week 6? Very piping. It's not going to happen right now in week 6, but he probably doesn't mean that. He just thinks it probably happens sometime soon. Well, we know Miami was involved. And what if Tua struggles? What if they lose another game? What if, all right, maybe Tua's the answer still. We don't know yet. What we do know is Watson's just better, and this makes us a better team. So after week 6, I do think it's possible. I do think it's possible. And especially since we know that Miami has been involved. But to me, it's getting hotter and hotter because where the Dolphins sit right now, too. Well, they wouldn't be trading their own pick, I guess. But where they sit, if they continue to lose, do they think, maybe we're not Deshaun Watson away? Maybe we got a lot of work to do because we're struggling right now, and it's more than just the quarterback. So I won't say piping because, it's any point do they trade for this season? Do they trade for Watson? I won't say piping, but it's getting pretty close to there, I think. I'm going to say hot. But, yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say piping because we know they've been involved, and they know they can get better with Deshaun Watson. But, I think it's getting less and less chances Miami trades for him. But it's definitely interesting to think about. We have a trade deadline video that recently went up. We talked about Deshaun Watson in that video a little bit where he could land. And then we'll have some more trade deadline videos and rumors and predictions and, who may be dealt right before the trade deadline as well. So stay with us for all that. But that wraps up the bold predictions video for week 6. Thanks, everyone, for playing along. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on some of these. We're always talking on Twitter. Make sure you check out that Twitter. Very important. A lot going on there. Link pinned in the comments for that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Full NFL coverage here, of course. It's going to do it, though. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.